Okay, so next lesson is concatenation. In short, we call it CONCAT. This is nothing but joining two columns. It's again, for formatting. It doesn't affect the way data is stored in your table. Okay, it's used to combine two or more strings or columns. Okay, very useful when you merge data from multiple columns. uh, so this is like null. You have to always be careful, with all these SQL commands, how the null is treated, right? So in some databases, mostly when you combine two columns, if column 1 has null and column 2 has last name Hillary or Clinton, so the final output will come as null, because null with null, something with null, then it is null, right? But certain databases like MySQL, it treats null as empty string and it brings back the row even though it has null as a first name. Okay. General use cases, as I said, we are storing first name, last name as a separate column, and then whenever you are printing a report, they have to be printed together. Okay. And then address it, like address line 1, city, country, postal code, they are all stored in separate columns. But for printing, like in labels, sometimes you get letters, postal letters, where the address is printed. So they use this particular technique, concat technique, to print those labels. Okay. And then you can say hi, first name, how are you doing, you can do, or if you know that a given birth date on a certain date, you can come up with concatenate to say that, hey, happy birthday, and his first name, something like that. So these are the general use cases. So let's look at this employee, first name, last name. These are two different columns, but here I'm printing them as a single column, right? So here employee ID, employee number, this. So whenever you do something like this, you have to give a name to this column, because the combination of this column does not exist in the database, right? So this SQL doesn't know, it will not give any name if you don't mention some name here. So I'm giving a nickname to this combination as employee full name. That's what you see here. Okay, so that is as alias. That's a separate lesson in this chapter. So that's what it's trying to combine both. And then if you watch here, I'm combining three strings here. The first name, after first name, I'm combining a string with one space, and then last name. That's how you get a space in between. Okay, and then this is a different syntax depending on the DB platforms. Instead of concat, you can use a pipe symbol. There is a key on your keyboard that prints this character. We call it as a pipe in software terminology. Okay, so client full name, where is the full name? We are combining this full name, and then you are combining the address part. Okay, right? And then address part 2. So this is how it gets printed. So basically, you are trying to combine, and then sometimes, mostly you won't get it first shot. You have to write and see how the data is coming, because I want a comma after my city, before state and postal code. I want a space here, I want a comma here, a comma here. So you have to do some kind of if you are very well experienced, you can write it once and get the results in one shot. Okay. Okay, so this is the syntax when compared to different DB platforms. So you use pipe in Oracle, and then you use plus in SQL Server. Plus means it is not like 1 plus 1 2. Plus is like adding two strings in SQL Server. In MySQL Postgres, you use concat. Okay.